We're back again, guys, here at the World of Concrete 2023, and I'm in the GPS Insight booth with David, and we were talking about GPS tracking, cameras, and what you can do about your fleet services. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you. So GPS Insight, primarily people will come into GPS tracking or telematics at GPS Insight for, like it says here, accountability, safety, efficiency, and compliance. Pretty much in this industry at the construction, right? So most of the people are looking for accountability, where their drivers are out through the day, how long they've been at job sites, always a safety initiative. Cameras are really big right now for the safety initiative.
Right.
You can get things like distracted driving while they're driving. They got some savings on insurance and things like that. So really efficiency is a big part of it, but accountability is a big part of it as well.
Okay, all right. Well, so you mentioned that, you know, the cameras work as far as initiatives sometimes with insurance benefits and things like that. So from what you're seeing on the customer side of things, is the demand and interest being driven by necessity or by general interest from some of these contractors and companies?
You know, it's both. Everybody's looking to save a little money, right?
Okay.
So on the camera side specifically, what they're looking for is better driver behavior. What that does is it helps with the maintenance of the vehicles, less wear and tear on the vehicles. But more importantly, you know, you've got drivers out there with heavy equipment, very expensive equipment.
Right.
Safety is a big initiative. Distracted driving, cell phones right now is a big initiative for insurance companies and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically what they're looking to do, is make better drivers, get their overall cost of the vehicle maintenance down, get their cost of insurance down, less accidents, less, you know, disruption for their business.
Right. So, and as far as the information that these systems take in and what they communicate back to the business owner or the fleet manager, you can track, I'm assuming, mileage, speed, averages, distances, cycle times, if it would be like a concrete truck. Yep. Time to the job, time from the job, and all of that. Where is all of that captured so people can decipher that information easily?
Yeah, great question. So all that information goes back basically goes up to the cloud storage. It's a cloud-based software.
Okay.
So the owner's got access to, like on their mobile device, it's immediate access to all this information. Okay. Obviously a desktop app that they can get on and get that information. It's stored in the cloud primarily, so there's access to it at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a mobile app, which is probably good on any device, whether it be Apple, Android, or what have you. Desktop app. So it's easy to use. How easy is it to implement? What are we talking about here as far as hardware goes?
Yeah. So great. So we have a couple of different pieces of hardware. So one thing we do when we onboard a customer, we get the year, make, model, VIN number of the vehicle, so that we have the correct hardware goes out the first time.
Okay.
So there are some hardware devices we can do a professional install. Some of them are easy as a plug and play device, we call it. You plug it right into the OBD port on a lighter duty vehicle.
Okay.
And all that information comes out. So what's really nice about that is because it's an OBD port, we are getting engine diagnostics and any error codes immediately. Maintenance is the other part we haven't talked about yet, but maintenance is a really big deal on these vehicles. Obviously they're super expensive. So a lot of times what you'll find is we have a maintenance report that will not only tell you at what interval, say an oil change is due, but it'll also, we can create alerts. So if it goes past a certain threshold, not only the owner can get, you know, the driver, the owner, the manager, whoever you want in the hierarchy can get alerted to immediately get that taken care of. So it really can, again, going back to that cost and the accountability and so on, that's a big part of it too, staying on top of your maintenance on these vehicles.
Right, right. So this isn't just some run-of-the-day GPS tracker you buy at Walmart. You are directly wiring into the machine itself and pulling all of those engine diagnostics out of there. I'm a gearhead myself, so I can tell you right now, a Snap-on diagnostic tool is more than a couple $1,000s.
For sure.
And the amount of technology that goes into that is quite extensive. So you're basically taking what a machine or body shop or a mechanic shop would use for self-diagnostics.
For sure.
And on top of that, you have the GPS tracking, and so all of that information is now accessible to a fleet owner.
And the other thing too, which we haven't talked about, but is big in the construction or in the concrete world, is assets, right? So you have generators on site, you have light trees sometimes on site, you have yellow iron on site, right?
Yeah,
all of that equipment. We can also track that.
Okay.
And we do that a couple of different ways. We can ping it while maybe it's just sitting there for a long period of time on a job site. But what's nice about that is we can do runtime. So on your maintenance, it's not necessarily, some people, and this is a big part of the cost, they will change all the hydraulic fluids. They will change everything every 3 months, whether it needs it or not.
On a time basis
On a time
rather than
basis.
a run time. Right.
Right. So now we can give you an actual run time.
Right.
So you're saving on some of those maintenance costs if you don't have to have them. We also recently teamed up with CTS, Titan's CTS, and they have some really good stuff for tracking tools, which is always a big part right now.
They grow legs and walk away sometimes.
Absolutely. So we're really excited about that partnership, and they have a great what we call beacon, where they can. You're talking about Bluetooth. They can actually get all your tools and put it all on one interface now. So you've got the whole complete picture.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, as far as implementation goes, you had mentioned previously that you can install it. These companies can install it themselves, or you can install it. So, do you have a dedicated team for tech servicing and installation?
Actually, we contract with installers across the United States and Canada.
Okay.
So yeah, we have them all over.
All right. So, third-party installers enable you guys to diagnose and fix problems that your customers may have.
Exactly. So our onboard process is a little bit unique. It's kind of nice. Once you come on board with GPS Insight, the first person to reach out to is your install coordinator.
Okay.
And so there is a person that you can go to, because there are some moving pieces to get, again, I mentioned making sure the vehicle is right, the hardware is compatible, everything works, right? They get it out in the field, they can schedule the installer, so there's a kind of liaison between the customer and the installer. They'll organize all that. They get it installed. The next part of that is our CSM team, where they train the people on how to use the software. Because again, the idea of what we want to make the customer as successful as quick as possible.
Right.
So when they have a problem, what we're trying to do, our CSM will reach out and train them on how to solve that problem. If it's an accountability, I mentioned, they'll do all that. And then the last part is an ongoing support. We're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
Our support's in Scottsdale, Arizona, so everybody's vested interest. They are part of our employees. We don't contract that out, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
And so yeah, our whole job from the beginning to end, through the install to the end, is to make sure you're up and running as quick as possible and successful as quick as possible.
Awesome, awesome. Well, if someone is interested in being as successful as quick as possible, where do they go to obtain your products?
Absolutely. So what I would recommend is just go up onto our website to start with, gpsinsight.com.
Okay.
There's a form in there they can go on if they want some more information. Obviously somebody will reach out, or they can just grab information from there. And we can schedule. What I always recommend doing is scheduling a demo. We do, get a discovery call. Let's find out what you're trying to solve those problems, and if we can, we're not afraid to say we can't do that.
Right.
So we're straight up honest. If we can, we'll do a demo, show you how we're going to solve it. They can go on board, and we can get everything else running for them.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, we certainly encourage all of our viewers and listeners to do so. David, certainly appreciate your time today.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right. Stay tuned to the At 10 Gallons Concrete podcast for all the other cool stuff we're seeing here at the show in 2023.
Thank you.